Hey y'all, from Spindle Mountain Mercantile, I am Heather. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to apply Iron Orchid Designs rub-on transfers to almost any surface. Let's jump right in. Application number 1 will be on this wash bowl and pitcher set. Please excuse me, but I'm going to go on a teeny tiny rant. There are people out there on the interwebs who will get their bloomers in a bunch because I'm adding something to this. It's old and they are purists, and I understand that, but y'all, it has been in my booth for over a year and a half, and I even lowered the price to $17. It's big and it's beautiful, but it's not selling. Maybe in a different location, like a big city, it would sell, but I can't wait for the right person to come into my booth. So where I live, adding transfers is actually going to add value to it, and I can raise the price, and I can feed my family. Rant over. Thank you very much. Because the purpose of this video is what you can put IOD transfers on, I'm not going to go through every little detail of showing you how to apply them. I will here and there add some little tricks and techniques that have helped me, but if you're a newbie and you want to learn how to apply them, I have a playlist called Everything IOD. If you go check that out, you'll find lots of videos that teach you how to apply them. Right here I'm cutting darts in this transfer. It just helps it to lay down more flat. It's like a shirt, you know, where all your voluptuous parts are. You have those little folds in the fabric that are sewn together. It's like a cut and they're sewn. That's called a dart. It's a good day when you learn something new. That's what my mama always says. This one went on fairly easy. I had a couple others in this experiment that were easier, but this wasn't difficult. I didn't do anything special to the surface other than just wipe it off. I didn't even wash it. It had been in my booth, so it was clean. Of course, you don't have to use roses. I just love the Rose Botanical IOD transfers, so that's the book I took these out of. They're so fun and so pretty. I love to mix them and add layers. When you do something like this, it's truly a personal preference of what kind of transfer you use. I just love these flowers. It's from the IOD transfer book called Rose Botanical. I'm using Debbie's Design Diary Big Top After Show as a sealer, and that will just keep the air and water, anything from getting under it. And if you see here, I'm using a little tiny paintbrush. I only use a little toothbrush because I only got like 3 teeth. I kid. I'm using a little paintbrush because I just go over the transfer. I don't want it on the entire piece, and you want it to go outside the lines, and that is what creates the seal. I'll have a link to Debbie's DIY webpage, and if you use that link to make a purchase, Debbie will give me a small little thank you, and she will not raise your price. So if you use that to buy DIY, I sure would appreciate it. Normally in my videos, I show you the finished project at the end of each part of the tutorial, but today I'm not doing that. I'm just going to show you everything all at once at the end of the entire video, so stay tuned for that. They look fabulous. For surface number 2, we are adding layered transfers to my very own Hillbilly Crackle Chippy paint technique. In the description, I will add a link to the video where I show you how to get the paint technique I did on this tote. But for today, we're just seeing how many different surfaces we can apply transfers to, so we won't go into that now. I don't know what I was thinking when I told you I would tell you how they ranked at the end or which ones I like best. You guys, it's this one. I can't believe how easily this went on. I barely had to rub it, and it just was like, poof. I don't know what the deal is, but I do know with chalk paint you have to wait until it's really, really dry. And I think this probably dried for 2 days before I added these transfers to it. But this was crazy awesome, and I'm so excited about it because I'm going to start using this Hillbilly Crackle Chippy paint technique to all of the wooden things I have. People love it, and they scoop it right up in my shop. In this video, I'm using high speed where I applied the transfers, so it's not much of a tutorial, but I am working on a video where I show you how I did all of the transfers that I'm putting on this particular tote. So keep your eyes open for that. Because this is going over chalk paint that is not sealed, I'm covering the entire surface of this tote with Debbie's Design Diary Big Top. Chalk paint can be reconstituted, so you need to make sure you use a sealer over it. That's another reason to add to this surface being the easiest one of all the surfaces I practiced on today, because I didn't have to go over every little tiny place with a very small brush. I just slapped that stuff on the whole surface and put it everywhere. Surface number 3 is plastic. This is just a big old flower pot I bought at Big Lots on clearance. I just wanted to show you right here what a darker picture might look like on this pot, but I wanted something a little muted, so I went with something that is a color closer to what the pot is, and it's only two-toned. This image is just a little bit too tall, so I simply cut off a few of the buds, and I didn't want to cut a straight line, so I kind of fussy cut them, and that way it fit just perfectly. Working on the plastic surface was pretty easy. There were a few times where I had to lay the carrier sheet back down and rub again to get the transfer to stick, but it didn't happen that many times. It did kind of seem like maybe a little bit more than normal though. My sweet husband wants to add that if I used alcohol on that instead of drinking it, I'm kidding, if I used some rubbing alcohol on that, I could get it really clean and it might not happen as much. And I think he's right. I didn't even wash this once I brought it home from the store, but using alcohol or making sure the surface is clean would definitely help. But all in all, this was a pretty easy surface to add a transfer to as well. Once again, I'm sealing the transfer with Big Top, and I'm doing the method where I use a small brush and only go over the transfer pieces. Surface number 4 is this glass bowl that's been in my booth for I don't know how long. It's Pyrex. I marked it all the way down to $4. I have 2 of these actually that have not sold, so I'll do something fun with the other one too. And I'm going to mark the price up to $9 when I'm done with this. I used some of the lavender here, and you don't want to put a whole strip on something like this because I don't know if you can tell, but the bottom part of this bowl is more narrow than the top. So if you put a straight strip around the bowl, it's not going to go around straight. It's going to curve up. I just cut them off at different intervals and reattached them. You can't even tell what I did. And you can do this with all kinds of designs. It's okay if there's a little overlapping. Nobody's ever going to notice. This surface was also pretty easy. I don't always have great success with glass, but I think once again it's how clean the surface is, because usually it gives me no problem. This will be done with the same method where you just go over the transfer. Well, I don't just mean over, I mean you want to go over the edge. You don't want to color inside the lines for this project, or it won't make that much of a difference. When I put items like this in my booth, I like to put a little tag with it that tells how to wash it. A lot of times I'll just say don't put in the dishwasher, don't submerge, just whatever I think that item needs. This one I would probably say to clean gently with a damp towel. Our 5th surface is wood that has been treated, like that is sealed or has stain on it. Now, these are stained, but it's not that kind of stain. It's because they got unky gunky. Now, I do sell these okay if they are a natural wood or if they're a real pretty kind of unusual one. This green one had something all over it, and I washed it off. And then there's the little one. It's pretty bad stained. And then the medium-sized one was just not very pretty. So I thought these would be great to put some transfers on. I wasn't going to add anything to the little wooden one, but I had a leftover piece that I thought would be perfect on it, and it was. So I'm really glad I did that one. The transfers went on fairly easy. You can see right here I'm cutting darts, and I'm going to put the bottom part of the butterfly down first, and then I'll lift up that carrier sheet, and then I'll place the top wing down, and it because it's a curved surface, it will lay over it. I did remember to push play with the other apples, but somehow between my phone and my computer, the video got corroded, so I don't have that. But I would tell you that overall, putting transfers on wood that is treated was pretty easy. It did give me a few times I had to redo some surfaces, but overall, it was good. Our sixth surface is pewter. Before I covered this, I made sure it wasn't super valuable. It went for about $15.99 up to $34.99 online where we live, and plus shipping. But where we live, you never get the online price. I mark most of my stuff about anywhere from 25 to 75% of what it is online, unless it's something that's super spectacular and is in demand at the moment. This is the first time for me to put transfers on pewter, and it was so much easier than I thought. I've done some metals before and it didn't go on very well, and I'm not sure if it's because I didn't clean it again or if it was because of the type of metal, but I was kind of nervous about this and I was really pleasantly surprised at how easy it was. I started in the center, and you saw I made all the darts and cuts because there's a lot of curves going on here. It's a lot like me. And I just kind of started in the middle, and then I moved to the areas that felt like they were naturally going down around the curves, and I just worked my way around, and it was good. I would do this again. Pretty sure you understand what I'm doing here by now, so I'm just going to speed this up, and I'll meet you in a minute or less. You guys, I forgot what number this is. I think it's 7. It's 7, right? Okay, 7. So, surface number 7 is natural wood. I believe this is plywood, and it's really old. It probably was stained because I haven't seen plywood this color. It's handmade, and it's kind of spectacular. I just love it. Somebody probably used it for like spices. That's my guess. So I know that when you put things on a shelf, you can't see what's behind it, so I'm not doing a lot. I'm just doing it on the edges, and I am using Rose Botanical again. I forgot to put all the names of the different transfers that I'm using, but this really isn't about, again, how I'm doing the transfers or what they are. It's about how easily they adhere to different kinds of surfaces, and we've covered 7 today, so I feel pretty good about that. I actually remembered with this one what my sweet husband said about the alcohol, and I decided not to do it. I didn't do anything to it. I rubbed it down with a dry cloth. I don't want to lose any of the patina. And I thought, if there's a little bit of dirt or something underneath where one of the transfers belongs and it doesn't really stick to that part, maybe it'll just look old and aged. And I liked that idea. But in the end, I should have gone into the corners and the little crevices and maybe used a wire brush or something, because there was just a little bit of gunk in there. It was probably from, somebody had it up by their stove and it just splattered maybe a little and got some of the dust from their spices on it. That's my guess. That's what we're going with, because it sounds less gross than other things. Surface number 8 is pottery. Now you can't tell, but inside of this little tray, I'm not sure what it is. It's like a very shallow bowl. It has a lot of little curvatures going around, like where when it spins, like in Ghost, when he's helping her spin, the part, that part. And the thing spins around and you put your finger down and it makes the swirls. Well, I think that's what they did on this. It probably wasn't a dead ghost guy, but somebody did it. Anyway, that was kind of hard, but other than that, just the surface, it went on pretty easy. And for this one, I just slapped Debbie's right on there. And you're not supposed to put your brush into the jar that your paint or product comes in because it can contaminate it, but I only had to put it in once because it was just a small surface, and I put it everywhere, and I think it turned out pretty darn good, don't you? I have two bonus items. One is drop cloth. I don't have any video of this because I did it before I started making these videos. I made this cover for our laundry room sink with drop cloth and an IOD transfer. And I can't say it went on like difficult. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't difficult to do, but it was laborious. It took more time to get the transfer to adhere to the drop cloth, but it wasn't difficult. I hope that makes sense. I would totally do this again. In fact, I want to do this on our shower curtain. I love it. I also don't have footage of this Jello mold. It's made out of aluminum, and the film was corrupted or something. I don't know what happened, so sorry about that, but this was the most difficult. It just didn't go on easily, but I would totally do it again, and I think I would get better. It also was difficult because there's so many different bumps, so I wouldn't recommend this to somebody new, but I would do it again. I think it turned out really cute, and you can still use it as a Jello mold. And I live in the South, so it's kind of a requirement that you have at least one Jello mold. Why shouldn't it be cute? And here's all of my finished pretty pieces. I think I gave you enough information about how the transfers went on with each surface, so I'm just gonna leave you here and say adieu. I hope you guys have a wonderful week until you see me next time. And as always, I hope you are blessed. Bye. Hey, why are you still here? You like my Ferris Bueller impression? Maybe you're still here because I forgot to tell you to like, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, share this video. I hope you do. Bye. For real, bye.